Welcome back to Project Geekology. This is episode 165. Today we have a giant lizard fighting a gigantic monkey. Who do we vote for, guys? Giant lizard or big monkey? That's the question of the day. We're covering Godzilla vs. Kong for episode 165 of Project Geekology. I am one-fourth of your hosts, Dakota, and I'm joined as always with...
a giant metal lizard. I just popped in and you weren't expecting it, but this is Anthony, and I'm going to pop out to throw it over to one of our other hosts.
Rich, a low-level Apex employee who's ready to just uncover the biggest scandal you guys have ever seen. Maybe some would say Titan-sized, but we can't do it alone. We're also joined by...
Hi, I'm Jen, and I like Godzilla. Big fan of his work.
Big fan of the big lizard. Yeah, guys, we're covering Godzilla vs. Kong, I believe it was 2021 film that really, it separated the internet for a little bit because a lot of people were giant lizard, some people were big monkey. And that was a really fun time on Twitter where just people devolved into like caveman speech, talking about who they wanted to see win. And ultimately... well, we'll talk about it. We'll definitely get into who is the king of the monsters, or at least these two, or three, as Anthony reminded us. But before we jump into any of that, let's briefly talk a little bit about what we've been up to this past week. I don't have a whole lot to add to the discussion this week, personally, just because... I'm still dealing with the fallout of my YouTube situation. I really haven't gotten any... Every now and then they'll send me a positive email saying all right, you got to fill out this survey just to see if we can recover it. And then they'll be sorry, we can't verify it was you. And then I have to do it all over again. So I'm just kind of going back and forth with YouTube at the moment. And it's a little stressful, but I'm just enjoying my Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I'm on book 6 now. And yeah, I'm having a good time. What about you, Jen?
I watched Monsters, Inc. the other day.
Tell me about that.
It's a classic. Loved every second of it. And, yeah.
First time?
No, probably somewhere in the hundreds. It's a comfort film for me. So I was doing some work, and I was like, let me throw on Monsters, Inc. Rich was there, because we were in our place of work. Because I can't focus on just grading on my off period, so if Monsters, Inc. is in the background, I hear all my fun little noises that...
Mike
make
Wazowski.
Me happy. Okay, so there's this one lady, I was, talking about this the other day, where she's, explaining something that goes wrong, and then she goes, because... And, that's one of the sound bites. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, okay. I feel so good. It's she's, a very minor character, and she's just, explaining something at the beginning of the movie.
You're like an alcoholic who hears, ice in a glass... clink, that it just soothes you for some reason.
It's just all my favorite Disney and Pixar movies.
Yeah, I guess that's the case. Anthony, let's throw it over to you. What have you been up to?
Well, real quick, you did say that this movie was a bit divisive. I don't think we've seen a divided internet like that since Edward and Jacob.
Oh. How could I forget?
But yeah, I haven't. There hasn't been too much going on. There was a good bit of video games that were announced recently. We got a little bit more, not too much more, just a little bit more of a tech demo of Kingdom Hearts 4. There is Ocarina of Time, the remake that's coming out. Bunch of Persona stuff, man. I'm excited about that. Just a bunch of games I can't think of. Another Onimusha, and I'm pretty stoked about that. Dakota has got us all down the path of Dungeon Crawler. He's got us reading filth. Just kidding. It's pretty good, but for those of you that have read it, there's some insane stuff that is said in that book. I'm not too far yet. As of recording, I'm on chapter 10, so I know that I have a good ways to go in the first book, but it's been good so far. I've been enjoying it. But yeah, how about you, Rich?
Wow, looks like I got 15 minutes to fill. Here we go. No. So I guess the biggest stuff, one, My PS5 was sounding like a jet propeller taking off, so
I love that sound.
It needs to be cleaned.
Yeah, I was gonna go take it to U Break We Fix, where I normally go to get my stuff serviced, but the local one is closed down, and there's another one that's not terribly far, but I don't like that I don't know the guys who work there. Because one time I did go to get my fan fixed for my PS4, and they actually couldn't get the sound to go down, so they didn't charge me, but they had cleaned the whole unit. So I ended up trying it myself. I looked it up online, and it said it's a pretty easy process, so I took the fan out. Apparently what happened was there was so much dust that when I took everything out, I actually pushed some of the dust and clogged another set of vents to the hardware, the hard disk. So it was kind of auto powering down, like it wasn't even giving me a warning. It was just turning off. So I ended up having to take my vacuum cleaner and an attachment that I usually use for the dryer, and I fixed my PS5. It's crazy with a vacuum cleaner.
I like that your PS5 was just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean,
several times.
The nice thing is I I won't lie. I haven't. It is now. It's been. I think it has been 9 months since I've had a cigarette as of yesterday. So my system is in a much better place as well. So looking at the gunk in the system made me, I guess, reminded me, hey, it's probably good.
So your PS5 is also 9 months off of cigarettes.
Yeah, it is. And,
congrats.
and its lungs were bad. And then I guess the other exciting bit of news that I've got is I got in the mail today a childhood dream. I got a pair of seats from Shea Stadium. The first ballpark I ever saw a baseball game. I bought 2 seats from the upper deck. They came in the mail today, and I assembled them. I won't lie, they're not the most comfortable or sturdy because they're not bolted into concrete in my house, obviously. So that does impact. They're more of a decoration piece. But living the dream, guys. I just want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, set goals in your lives. Okay. I said I want to eat 100 hot dogs in a year. You know what I did last year? I did that. All right. And I said I want to get these seats. And I did that. And I just feel accomplished. But not as accomplished as Kong must have felt when he sat down in his mother effing throne and claimed his title as King of the Titans. Because there was a throne there cut for him. There wasn't one for Godzilla. There's not one that has a hole for his stupid tail to go in. No, it's Kong's throne, baby.
I can't believe you just called his tail stupid, where he like uses it so well in combat, and you know it.
I know.
Know that. His tail is extremely useful.
I'm getting a little hopped up, guys. I'm sorry.
It's not like my dog just has like a little nub of a tail that doesn't really do much. But Godzilla uses that thing.
I do think this is a good segue into our topic of discussion for today. Godzilla versus Kong is a fun movie with a lot of stupidity. Like it kind of follows in the same vein of King of the Monsters, where like the human characters are kind of just present, but like the actual story with the monsters is pretty engaging. But I can't help but find the characters endearing. And I realized something today that's pretty interesting, is that for the modern day MonsterVerse movies, starting, not including the Kong Skull Island, in Godzilla, you have Serizawa and Vivian Graham. They go over into Godzilla King of the Monsters. And from there you have Emma Russell and her father, Mark Russell, who go over into Godzilla versus Kong. And from this third movie in the modern era, you go into Godzilla versus Kong, The New Empire, with, who is it? It's Gia and I think it's Irene?
Yeah, Irene Adler.
Irene Adler, yeah. She jumps into the next film in the series. So like, it's almost like they're passing the torch onto different human characters. And I think that that's a kind of fun little treat that they have been doing. So I don't know. I thought that was an interesting thing. Anthony, you have a giant mechanical lizard behind you in the superimposed wallpaper.
You mean Robot Godzilla?
Is it Robot Godzilla?
Or is there another name?
Tell us a little bit about your background, Ant.
Oh yeah, the background is like from the old Godzilla movie. I think this one was like actually Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, I believe it is.
And yeah, this movie, I remember when they were like announcing the movie and the trailers were coming out, and Mechagodzilla was like, you know, being teased like in it, and I was like, oh, what? Mechagodzilla in this one was pretty cool. I do like the old one a lot more because he had a lot more like kind of gadgets going on. Like he had like missiles and stuff. But it was cool seeing a Mechagodzilla in this, and I think that what kind of takes me out of it is the kind of non-verbal communication between like Godzilla and Kong, especially like during this, you know, where they kind of like team up. It's like it kind of loses me a little bit, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I actually was thinking the opposite.
No, because it's like very unrealistic. And I'm actually surprised that didn't take you out,
much
Dakota.
realism in this film.
Because Dakota, you're like pretty big when it comes to things like making sense. And I feel like so what made a little sense for me, or a little bit more sense to me, was Godzilla kind of like backing off of like Kong, like when he like realized, and like they kind of, that like it does make sense that like animals can kind of form like a mutual respect, like, hey, you stay over there, I stay over here, where they kind of set like the hollow earth and like the, you know, surface kind of like dynamic.
But that's pretty much the ascent, like the totality of them like communicating. It wasn't like anything like deep, like they weren't going out for coffee or drinks later.
We don't know that.
Come on, like let's be real, like the like, oh, you know, especially like when the girl was like talking like, you know, to like Kong and stuff, like Kong is smart, but like the fact that like he was able to understand enough to like not just like go after both Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, you know, like I don't know, like
it is interesting how much American Sign Language he knew.
Yeah, I actually thought that as well. One thing that kind of stood out to me was that she used the word maybe or might. That's what it was. Like, you might have family there, or you maybe will have family
And
there.
did you notice what the symbol for that was?
Oh, no.
Maybe
Oh,
I'm
I
pretty
didn't know
sure that I learned American Sign Language, and that maybe is basically the 6-7 hand gesture. I think if you Google it, because she did it twice. I watched her. She's like, might have family down. Like she started with the 6-7.
Jeez.
Well, there you have it, folks.
All right.
But I will say that like I will say that I did enjoy this a little bit more than King of the Monsters, just because like the overall story on that one and like the reasoning for like releasing the Titans was kind of just not, you know, I guess airtight. But
right.
you know, like releasing the Titans to save the world, like they're gonna destroy the world.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. We can all agree that didn't make any sense. But what I will say, as to your point about like how much, now are you more, because I think we are more skeptical about how much Kong was able to communicate with Gia, more so than he was able to communicate with Godzilla. Are you more on like it makes less sense for him to be able to communicate with another giant titan?
I feel like I'm skeptical of the communication overall and like the ability for them to like team up. All of a sudden Godzilla is hitting Kong's axe with his atomic breath so that he can fight.
Oh, I see.
Like that,
yes.
like stuff like that.
What are the... It is cool, and it's almost like Avengers level stuff.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's cool. The fight is awesome. Like I love the fight, but like in terms of stuff like that making sense.
Would it make sense? Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like
no, I got you.
I feel like you got a lot of dynamics like that. But I will say that like the kind of mutual respect, like okay, like I see, like there is a way for like beings that are not really, you know, verbal to kind of recognize and respect strength. And I get that, you know, it's just stuff like that, like the weird teaming up dynamic. I'm like, that doesn't really make sense, but it looks cool.
So for me, I think the previous film, King of the Monsters, did a pretty good job of exploring that dynamic of monsters being able to communicate with each other even from great distances, and being able to define hierarchies based on who wins battles or who just sounds the loudest, you know? Like, we saw that back and forth with Ghidorah and Godzilla a lot in the last one. But I get your point. I still don't have that particular issue. I do think that Kong, considering Irene didn't even know that
Gia and him were communicating?
Yeah, that Gia and him were able to, like, that he was able to communicate and, like, know, like, multiple words outside of, you know, she didn't even know that he was able to, like, do the home symbol to Gia. Considering that, it's hard for me to believe that he somehow is able to fully communicate across language to this tiny little guy. But anyway.
I also see, like, what Anthony's saying, which I hadn't thought about this when watching at all, but like Godzilla and Kong are just two completely different species. So it's kind of like cats and dogs aren't super good at understanding each other. Isn't it like dogs can understand that humans are separate, but cats kind of view you as just like a larger hairless cat? So that's why cats get frustrated when you don't understand like cat social cues.
That's what I've heard, but who really knows? Like, how well do we understand what cats are able
Well,
to
why don't we
understand?
get our cat on the pod? Yeah, ask him a few questions.
I'll get special with it. Yeah.
Godzilla's always been like that being where like he doesn't really care. He doesn't care about humans, you know, like, yeah, but he's not gonna go out of his way to like kill humans, but like he'll go after something that could be going on his territory, and if people are there, then you're there and you're gonna die, you know?
That's your problem, not his.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, I want to direct the conversation to Rich a little bit, because I am surprised you are just now getting into these movies, considering how well they are basically just like big budget wrestling movies.
Especially the older ones, dude.
It's
Especially
actually,
the older
okay,
ones.
so I haven't seen any of the old ones. It's interesting you say wrestling, because when Anthony was talking about how he didn't like the communication between Kong and Godzilla, it kind of reminded me like old-time wrestlers who didn't rehearse. Like, they just went out there and like kind of like just threw themselves and like would just piece the match together based on like looking at each other the right way. That's kind of how I read this. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think any issue with this movie. There was a moment where I said, how did Kong learn that much sign language? And I said, you know what? He's a Titan. Who cares?
That's one
All right?
smart monkey.
I literally was just like, I don't care. I love Kong. I love him.
That's fair.
When he showed me that he
Rich is like the king of bias.
Like his,
if he can get something to be biased about, that's the opinion.
I love huge. Just I can't get enough of Kong. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cannot get enough of his story. He says so much without saying much at all. All right. I just find him to be mesmerizing. The people in this movie are deliciously caricatures. I just love them. Right. The impetuous teenager who gets herself into trouble, you know, and the parent has to be worried. The Bernie, the eccentric guy, and all he is really just eccentric. But, oh, wait, he's got one backstory. His wife died, so he brings some whiskey. Such a weird little fact. It's like reading, like, Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried, and just like, and what did he carry? He carried a holster of whiskey because his wife died, and then he was a nom. So I love that. I love the just absurdly rude hot chick, right? Like, she's like, what is she? Maya, right? Amazing, right? Like, she's just a jerk at every turn for no reason. And it's almost like in every line in the subtitle, it could just be like, I'm hot, right? Like, that's all she is, right? And like, but like, she's, you know, she's so rude that she's not attractive by the end, you know, like blah, blah, blah. I love all the tired tropes. There's honestly, I don't know what I don't like. My wife walked in while I was watching the scene where Kong has come back up to the top, you know, to the surface, and they're fighting, and that's Hong Kong, I think. And she's like,
They are in Hong Kong. I think Shanghai.
she's like, that looks terrible.
No, Hong Kong.
That doesn't look like a city. And I went, who cares? I'm like, it's in Asia. Maybe it does look like a city. Have you been there? I'm like, I haven't, so I buy it. I don't know why I'm so forgiving of this series.
That is actually what that city looks like.
It is. All right, great.
Yeah,
see?
they use actual...
Yeah, that's what Hong Kong looks
So see?
They use like actual replicas.
You don't
of,
watch
like,
vlogs of people visiting Asia for the first time? Is that something you do in your spare time?
I just I saw Lost in Translation. That's about it. So it's the only thing I got, and they didn't have any buildings like that. But honestly, like I like that this movie has like it really has like three parts to it. You know, it's the getting of Kong and the convincing of like the idea. Then it's getting to Hollow Earth. And then kind of the resolution with the end where you have the mecha show up. I love the mecha. I love the guy who's the big bad guy. He was in like Weeds. He was like the biggest like narco traficante ever.
That guy reminded me of the Dos Equis commercials.
Yeah, he is
Like the
basically.
most interesting man.
He plays that in this show Weeds as the head of the cartel, and he's like the most interesting man. I thought the casting was great. I honestly think the visuals are great. They do an amazing job with Kong's face. The way he learns, right? Like when the rocks are all floating and he goes,
Yeah, that is a creative scene.
and he parses it together. And like I realized that like I sincerely believe that the way they depict Kong, like the CGI they did, he feels like. And I think this is why I like him better than Godzilla. And this is just like basic, what is it called? The anatomy of the two, right? You can see more expression in Kong than you can through Godzilla.
Okay. Yeah, you said a whole lot there. I'm going to boil it down to you really like this movie.
Love it. Love it.
I will jump on board specifically with the CGI of Kong. I think they did a really good job with it. Even like the nighttime scene when he's on the boat and he's like, reaching out over to Gia, the subtle movements that he's making, he looks like he's moving slow or normal speed, but like the water that's coming off of his fur is just like misting, and it looks so realistic because that's how water would look on a giant 300-foot monkey. I really thought like there were several moments where I was just like, wow, that's really good CGI. And I think they did really good with. Oh, even in like the when they brought him over to Antarctica, and like the snow matting on his fur,
so good.
It looks like my dog after she rolls around in the snow. Like that's exactly what snow looks like
when
on
it like
fur.
clumps up a bit.
Yeah, and it's impossible to get out. So that's definitely an interesting point. And also the as far as like facial recognition and everything, Kong is historically someone who is an empathizable character. I don't think that's a word. But the character is meant to be empathized with. His very first appearance, I think it was in 1932, beating Godzilla to the screen by like 15 years or so. His first appearance...
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, no, King Kong was before Godzilla. And, it's the tragic tale of this giant monkey being brought to America. He climbs up the Empire State Building, they attack him, and he falls to his death. And, it's not his fault that he's been paraded around the world. And he's still being paraded around the world. They're doing it in this movie. For different reasons, but they are definitely doing that. And that is definitely an homage to the origin of the character. But there's always a female character in every King Kong movie. I don't know if there is in Skull Island. I think they moved away from that trope. But in the 70s Kong
wasn't Brie Larson the...
But I don't think she had a special connection.
No,
with
he
Kong.
protected her. There was like a brief sequence where he ends up like protecting her.
Oh yes, he does. Like she falls into the water and he raises her up.
Yeah,
I forget about that. Yes.
I think that's during the sequence where he's fighting the like skull monsters.
The skull crawlers.
Yeah, but you
Yes,
can't. I mean,
yes.
you can't blame him for helping Brie Larson. So
I can't either. But yeah, so that's a trope when it comes to Kong as a character, wanting to.
He likes the ladies?
He likes the ladies. I don't think it's at least in this one, it's definitely not a romantic relationship. It's just like a a mutual bond that he grows attached to with certain characters. And I love the bond that he makes with Gia, because Gia is an interesting character in and of herself, just because she's capable of understanding so much more than people who actually have the ability to hear. And I think that that's really cool. What are your thoughts? You've been awfully quiet.
Yeah, I just really enjoy these movies. I think they're really fun and simple. I see the criticisms that can obviously be made about them, but Dakota and I split it up over 2 days just because I go to sleep really early nowadays. And this was one that I was actually really excited to go back and finish. Unlike the last one. The last one I was like,
King of the Monsters.
Yeah, I was like, I have to go finish that one. Crap.
King of the Monsters, it's so interesting because they play it so serious and like end of the world-ish with the monsters, so it's very exhausting in a way, but the characters are they're clownish. So it's a mix of like, is this an end of the world movie, or is this trying to be a comedy? It kind of bounces back and forth, but I think this movie plays it a little bit better.
Yeah, I like this one so much more. Even though I feel like this one does the comedic stuff as well.
Yeah, it does.
But I just think they do a better job of it. One thing that I thought was kind of weird, I guess, is like, especially for Millie Bobby Brown's character, that like all of the stuff that happened in the past just basically doesn't really... I think they mentioned the mom like one time, if that, but it's just kind of like drops. Like everything was just dropped. It's like...
That is my main criticism, actually.
Oh, really?
Of the movie.
We didn't talk about this in advance.
No, we never do.
We don't meta podcast.
We don't meta podcast here.
Liars.
Not in this household.
No, we don't.
No. While we're watching the movie, I'll comment on like, oh yeah, that looks really great. Or, there was a scene where like they were on like the jet carrier or the aircraft carrier on the ocean, and like you see the camera angle of like the guy in like a fighter jet cockpit, like zooming off. And Kong's behind him, like just like yelling, and it's such a cool shot. I love stuff like that, so I say it out loud. But my biggest criticism with the movie is Millie Bobby Brown's character, because it does feel like it could have been an entirely different role, and nobody would know any better.
Yeah, it's just like, it's not even, I don't know. They didn't really develop what they already had. They just were like, let's scrap it and make her edgy.
She still has the in with Monarch, but she's more interested in this guy's podcast. Which doesn't, I mean, I get it. It's an exciting, Titan-based podcast, but like, you actually have a dad who's a director of Monarch who probably goes on crazy adventures all the time. So there's a kind of a weird disconnect there, but I really...
Well, did she have an in with Apex though?
No, that was just Bernie. It was just Bernie.
Yeah. I think that was her thing, was that there was something going on with Apex and she wanted to know more.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, no, I know that, like, look, I get that there is, like, a rational reason for her, or a story reason for her to, like, get involved with Bernie and all them and go on this adventure. And I'm happy that they did, because I kind of like the adventure that they go on. I just think it doesn't really fit the character that was portrayed in the last movie. That's my main issue with that.
For me, it's like, if you're going to have a character carry over into the next movie, maybe develop some of the things we already learned about her. I don't know. I just feel like there were no kind of references to, I don't know, the fact that her brother died, or
the orca
mom died, or a sacrifice, or the orca. Like any
that could have been a good.
There was no tiebacks or callbacks to like, and not like, I'm not just saying like a simple callback, but I'm saying like at some point in the development of the character, in the arc of the character, why was nothing brought up again?
What do we think about the character Tapwater?
You mean you're talking about Fire Fist?
Fire Fist, yes, Daredevil.
That kid is the cutest.
Is this considered a Marvel movie with him in it?
I think so, yeah.
What I love about whenever this kid's in a movie is they
make him an absolute gangster.
Well, they don't tell him to get rid of his accent. That's something that is like crucial to this kid being on screen. They need him to keep his Kiwi accent as long as possible, and it adds something. It adds like a texture to the character. Like, he is somehow more exotic because of that, and he's a pleasure to see on screen whenever he's on screen. Yeah. I loved when Bernie just ragged on him for being tap water, but he was the one who coined the term Mechagodzilla. So he got his...
I thought that line was so cheesy. That was so cheesy.
See...
It was like, no, that's Mechagodzilla.
Now, do you think the roles should have been reversed where it was like Bernie said...
No. It's got to be the Kiwi, buddy. It's got to be the Kiwi.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, no, it was definitely him. But you're right. I do like when he gets ragged on about the tap water. When he's like, oh, I drink tap water. He's like, yeah, I got that.
You see, I'm not going to lie to you. In all these movies, the only human character that I ever, other than Brie Larson, that I ever cared about was John C. Reilly. Everybody, I forgive everybody. I don't know, man. Because you know what? You know who I want to see? I want to see
John C. Reilly?
Kong. I want to see Godzilla. When that's all I just watch the other stuff and I just wait for those guys to come back, man. I like you said, like I just get so happy, like in the snow, like, right? Like I've watched it 3 times, maybe 4 times now. Actually, I think I watched it 4 times. And mind you, I've been also watched like 6 seasons of Sopranos in the last couple of weeks. Like, but I just can't stop rewatching these movies. I've downloaded them. I'm not even watching them on streamers anymore. Like now, like you can ask Jen, like I'm just rando watching them in the middle of the day. People are walking into the room.
I'll just walk into his classroom and he just...
I have 15 minutes. I'm like, let me go watch some Kong. Like, I want to see some Kong. Like, I don't know. I like the characters because they're a vehicle to get me to Kong and Godzilla, right? I don't care what they say. What they say is stupid. That whole end of the world and purging and, in the last one, that was dumb, like this idea, pretty stupid. Going to the Hollow Earth and they can only follow a Titan through and it's nuts. The whole axe and the fact that Kong can somehow like magically like access this throne room that he's never been in before and that works. Yeah, man, sign me up. Like, I don't know why, because if this was anything else, guys, I promise you, I would eviscerate it. I would tell you how stupid it is, how much I dislike it. But there's something about these 2 guys, these 2 big boys on the screen, that maybe it's just a wrestling match for me, but sign me up any day. They could make 90 of these, and I won't stop watching them. Right? Kong goes to the bodega. I don't care. Anything would entertain me about these guys. I
love how eloquently you are just waxing poetic about this movie. I really appreciate that. I'm happy that you are enjoying them as much as you are. And speaking about vehicles to these characters, we have a vehicle that is also a character in this movie, and that would be Mechagodzilla. And I think that they did him really interesting. Like they used the severed head of Ghidorah, or one of the severed heads of Ghidorah, as like a neural link into the mind of a Titan, and that basically when powered to the point where it needed to be powered, that's another really stupid thing. Like, how were they able to send the new power source so quickly back up to...
I know.
That is an actual issue.
Actually, it's the same. So do you remember in Superman how quickly Luthor was able to translate the Kryptonian message? That same scientific team is actually the one that's at work here. So that's why the turnover was so quick.
You're killing me. Okay, no. But once they were able to get that power source to Mechagodzilla, the novelization of this said it a lot better. Like, they made a much bigger arc out of this, where Ghidorah basically took over the mind of Ren Serizawa, the son of Monarch director Serizawa, which they don't actually say in the movie, but like his whole goal in the book, Ren, the son, was basically that like his father loved Godzilla more than him, or spent more time like researching and like chasing Godzilla than he did like his own son.
I'm starting to think that's Rich with Kong.
It might be.
Honestly.
That like Ren treated Godzilla as like an older brother that he wanted to kill. And that was his motivating factor for getting into the Mechagodzilla, I guess, control room, and then operating the suit, which eventually fried his mind when Mechagodzilla went primal. So
I buy it. I understand. Honestly, like, my family's not around. If you told me I could go to Hollow Earth and hang out with Kong, but I couldn't get back, I don't know, guys. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know.
Rich would go and then just get eaten by one of those minor monsters, and then like the first day,
You know what?
he would
No,
just
it
get
would be
wrecked by one of those,
the
like,
flower
little dudes.
the flower plant that ate that one guy. Is that this? That yeah, that's this franchise, isn't it? They're like on a planet. There's like they're. Maybe I'm skipping ahead. I'm gonna stop talking. Never mind. But yeah, I'd definitely get.
What are you talking about? I think you're thinking of Predator Badlands.
It's like Predator Badlands, but it's in this franchise. But I may be jumping the gun, guys. I've been watching a lot of these movies. But yeah, no, I would definitely try to find Kong. Like, I would be desperate to find him. And then I would get killed on the way.
So
Rich would be like how they were at the end of the movie, like, oh, he's on his morning walk. Let me go try to talk to him. And he would try to befriend Kong, and Kong would just ghost him. Like, Kong would just ignore him.
Like Kevin Parker.
but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
speaking of Hollow Earth, I feel like that's a really interesting avenue that's opened up in this film. Again, it's one of those things that, like, the novelizations do such a better job of, like, exploring, like, just the mechanics of it all. But what they give you in the movie is enough to, like, get you to understand the concept, basically. And from this point, the Hollow Earth is hugely pivotal to the MonsterVerse. You know, they tease it a little bit at the end of King of the Monsters, like in some of the like the newspaper clippings that they have at the end, but it's not until this movie that they really jump into that, like, full steam ahead, go into Hollow Earth. And then in the next movie, most of it takes place in Hollow Earth. You have what's happening in the Monarch shows. It kind of revolves around a plane of Hollow Earth for a good portion of it. And there's just so much storytelling potential with this new realm, basically. So what I really think is interesting is the world building here, because you have a place like Skull Island, which is where Kong lives, which is where all of these crazy giant creatures exist. And within, like, the comics and the ancillary lore of the MonsterVerse, we have learned that Skull Island is one of these places where monsters have come out of Hollow Earth to kind of populate that local island of Skull Island. And part of the reason why Skull Island was, like, constantly in storm, actually that's so I think I gotta, like, take a step back. But, like, in the beginning of the movie, did you guys notice that Kong was in containment and they didn't really explain it?
Yeah.
I thought I missed something.
It's kind of annoying that they don't explain it, because it's actually really cool lore. But basically, in King of the Monsters, Ghidorah creates, like, an Everstorm. And for whatever reason, this Everstorm goes over Skull Island and just torments Skull Island for, like, years. So they build a big containment around Kong, and, like, all of the indigenous life outside of Gia is killed. So, like, she's the last of her kind.
Oh, that's the storm that kills the Iwi.
Yes. I think they explained it in the next movie.
They made,
I forget.
And they made it seem in this movie like it was a passing storm, not that it was like the Estada version.
But for whatever reason, this storm also messed up the vortex that went into Hollow Earth, so they could not travel into Hollow Earth through this way. So it's kind of, that's why they had to go somewhere else, to Antarctica and everything. That's kind of the catalyst for the movie. But I wish they would have explained that better in the actual movie, because why was Kong in a containment field, and why was there a storm outside? And I feel like that's important stuff to know.
I figured it was El Nino.
But anyway.
I honestly thought it was like El Nino or something. I was like, oh, bad storms, El Nino. That's what happens.
I felt so bad for Kong, because, like, he's from a tropical environment, and then they just, like, move him to Antarctica. And it's kind of like, I think of, like, when my Puerto Rican grandmother moved to New York, like, her first winter. Brutal.
Same.
Or, like, Anthony, when you moved from Miami to New York, that must have been rough, like, rough winter. That's, like...
It actually was a crazy winter, that one.
Poor Anthony, he's from Miami, and then he's just, like, he knows what Kong feels like.
No, that blizzard on the way down was insane.
Yeah, my dad decided that we were going to go drive down from New York to Florida for a trip. And Anthony and I were in the back of a Prius, an old Prius at that point. And we get a crazy blizzard. Trees are falling down. Like, Ford F-150s are, like, like driving off the side of the road, getting caught in ditches, and our little Prius traveling 15 miles an hour for like, must have been like 5 hours through this storm, just completely trekking. And every couple miles, we'd have to get out and like start like pushing the car so that it could maintain speed. Insane character building, insane exercise. But anyway, that's
if only Millie Bobby Brown had experienced something similar in this movie. A little character development.
She needed to push.
She needed to push a Prius.
That maglev thing. She needed to push that into the tunnel that took them to China.
That's not like that wasn't Anthony's environment. Like that's not where he was supposed to be. Much like Kong in Antarctica.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Godzilla. We keep kind of skirting about the big guy, Gojira.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts, Anthony, specifically about like his rampage with the Apex facility, and like did that work for you?
To be honest, like I don't even remember why he was rampaging on the Apex facility. Was it that they were
picking
up Ghidorah's like essence there, or
the lizard monsters like eggs were in that facility before they were sending them to Hong Kong, I believe?
I think you're both touching on a point, and I think you're both incorrect.
Wait, wasn't like Mechagodzilla like putting out like vibrations? Wait, why did we all think something completely different?
Actually, Jen, you are the closest to the actual explanation here.
Because they kept showing that like red circle thing that was like putting out vibrations.
They were basically calling Godzilla to Pensacola so that he could destroy a place, basically so that this company, Apex, would be able to get the backing, both militarily and financially, to enter Hollow Earth and get a new source of energy. That was their goal, was to basically trick Godzilla into attacking a human settlement unprovoked.
They were setting him up.
Oh, it was like a red herring. All right.
He was picking up good vibrations.
He was picking up bad vibrations.
Yeah, it was giving him the excitation.
Is Marky Mark going to show up on this podcast? I can't take it anymore. Hey, Ramley. Say hi to your mother for me.
Wait, what?
What? You're talking about good vibrations. That's Marky Mark.
No, I'm quoting the Beach Boys, Rich.
Oh, sorry.
That was rough.
I really like Mark Wahlberg's music. Sorry.
You ate too many hot dogs today. Oh wait, can I say something?
No. I mean, yeah.
I love Godzilla. I love him so much. The way that Rich feels about Kong is how I feel about Godzilla. I love how little he cares. He's like Scarface in that one scene, like where Tony Montana is like in the restaurant and he's like, "You need people like me," and he's like, "I'm the bad guy." He's like, "I don't care." At one point, he's going through Hong Kong, he's like swimming in a canal or something, and he just like jumps up and like headbutts a bridge for no reason. Like it wasn't in his way. He just saw it and was like hitting it. He's like goals, like villain goals.
He's the kind of guy that like will step on your sandcastle and like push over your Lego set.
He's like Stitch. I love Stitch.
He's the kind of guy He's the kind of guy that'll sit on your left shoulder.
What?
Anthony's quoting.
Yeah, Dakota has
he's describing a background that is superimposed, and it kind of looks like Godzilla's creepily sitting on my shoulder, but he's not.
I did like the sea fight. I thought that was really cool. That was a cool fight.
They did that. Really
I have a gripe with that fight. Ooh. And Dakota didn't understand what I was talking about, but maybe one of our 5 listeners will empathize with me and see.
Hey, there's at least 6. Go ahead.
There's dozens of us.
I think there's 7.
Oh God, why did you?
Stop.
So my issue, and this is not just with this movie, but it's like some movies, I don't know if it's just like the visual effects team kind of tooting their own horn or what, but they do this thing where there's like water fights and then they'll put like little droplets of the water on the lens that we're looking through. I hate it so much. It always takes me out of the movie because I'm like, am I supposed to be in the mindset that there's like drones like hovering around this fight scene and I'm watching, like, you're now informing me, you're reminding me, and I never lost this concept. I never thought I'm not on my couch right now watching this on TV, but why do you need to remind me of it? Like, what is the benefit?
I feel like this is one of those unique issues that I will never notice
It drives me, every time I see it, it drives me crazy.
But I think you notice it, and I'm just hear me out. Let me posit my theory. You notice it because you actually wear glasses, and in rain, that would actually bother you.
Yes.
But for me, I don't ever experience that outside of like a windshield.
Why are you like 20/20 vision mogging me right now? Like, get out of here.
No,
like,
no, I'm
what?
just... You kept,
I'm sorry,
you
I'm
kept
blind.
pointing it out, and like it really bothered you. But I was trying to understand why it bothered you so much, and I think that might be it. Just because you immediately noticed.
Are you vision?
Are you other specs wearers here?
Are you vision maxing right now? I don't understand.
Yeah, Dakota's vision maxing.
I just vision mugged you, bro.
He's like, I would never understand such issues of the weak-eyed people.
Meanwhile, you're blind in the sun, friend. You have a
light eyes.
Yeah, no, I really am. Like as soon as I hit like white pavement and on like at noon, I'm done.
If
my
Dakota's
eyes
driving,
are watering and I'm like stumbling about like I'm completely blind.
If Dakota's driving in the afternoon on a snowy day, like, it's a hazard. Like, he can't, his eyes start watering up. Everybody's like, oh, we hope that the baby has like blue or green eyes like Dakota. And I'm like, he's weak. He's pathetic. My dark, almost black eyes, I never have to wear sunglasses. I've evolved.
Yeah, I hope he gets somewhere like our baby. I hope he gets your color, but my vision.
full Baratheon.
Yeah, because my vision's horrendous.
He'll be unstoppable.
Wait, Anthony, do you see what I'm saying with the
Jin wants him to
speckles?
join the dark side.
I do.
Yeah, the three of you have glasses. Do you all experience this, or is this just a Jen problem?
I take my glasses off a lot. Right, I do have to wear them when I'm watching a movie or TV, but I don't.
You're not likely to wear them outside.
I don't. It's a quirk that doesn't really bother me. I don't think it's just like it's just something that I've accepted in filmmaking, I guess. Yeah, there's water. Like I watched Deadliest Catch. There's a lot of water because
But isn't that like actual water? That's not like a visual effect of fake water.
How do you know Kong and Godzilla weren't throwing around real water? Let's be honest.
Wait, are you trying to say that Hollow Earth isn't real?
No, Rich, it's very real.
Wait, Anthony, do you get what I'm saying or no?
Well, I mean, I do understand the, like, when you get water on your glasses, like, that is a bit annoying because you're like, oh, crap, now I gotta, like, clean it. Or, like, if it dries, it leaves, like, it'll, like, leave, like, a mark, and then you can always see it, like, with your glasses, like, right up on you. But, like, in a movie, like, with the water on the lens, I always see that as, like, an effect. Just, I think that they're just trying to. It's like an immersion tactic.
It's like the same old pair of glasses. Like nothing's changed.
It's in early film when people saw a train.
Oh my God! Shut up!
Drive towards
He's quoting
the
Gilmore
screen.
Girls.
They thought it was a real thing. And this, they're.
Shut up.
Anyway, all right, let's jump back. We have been speaking about Kong and Godzilla, but like I think one point that is interesting is I think last week maybe, I don't know if he was even on the podcast, or maybe not last week, but anyway, I compared Kong to more of a dog and Godzilla to more of a cat in their mannerisms. And
that was me. I compared them.
Pretty sure that was Dakota.
He took that from me. Okay.
Okay, if that's the case,
he plagiarizes.
If I plagiarize you, then I'm sorry. But I think that is actually a pretty accurate, because Godzilla specifically, Godzilla has the countenance of just an angry cat. You know,
like your cat.
This is.
I think that's the. I think that's the point you
house.
made. Like that was like your cat.
Yeah, he's an angry little dude.
Yeah, and another thing cats do is they'll just like fall asleep anywhere, and Godzilla is known for that. He even like curls up like a cat in a place he's not supposed to in the next movie.
I'm so excited for that scene, by the way. I love that scene.
So
great.
So great. And Kong is very. I don't know if Kong is necessarily a dog, personality wise.
He's loyal.
Well, he's got that dog in him.
He's definitely more. He's more of a people's person. You know, I kind of appreciate that about him. He wants to be loved.
He's a big softie, man. He's the best.
He's a big softie.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I love him. I just want to point out one thing, I guess, maybe is a slight detraction from the movie. Okay. If you've been living with Kong for, like, what they say, like, 5 years she was studying him or something on Skull Island?
Yeah.
And you've got all these cameras set up, and you've been watching and observing him for years. How did she miss the lessons? Like, how did she miss Kong and Gia? Like, there wasn't one time where she went over a video, or was she like, no, I was there. It's cool.
No, she knows that they like spent time with each other because like she had a doll that she gave to Kong, and she saw Gia do this, so they definitely, or she definitely knew that Gia had a relationship with Kong. And in the novel, they actually mention that their special relationship is likely because she is the last of her kind and he is the last of his kind. She recognizes that like these two individuals can't be separated.
But this does kind of bring up a child services issue of like, why were you leaving this very small child unattended with a giant monkey for so long?
Yo, she's native.
So hold on.
She don't work on the same rules as you American girls.
Do you have like a limit on the size of the monkey that would be allowable for the child to stay with? So like if it was like a smaller monkey, would you be okay with it?
I think like sea monkeys is where it starts and ends really for me.
Because you said
that's
giant.
the only safe monkeys. This one's especially bad.
What about like those little monkeys that have to wear diapers all the time? Like, are you okay with that?
Like a capuchin?
Actually, yeah, I'm okay with
like Marcel
like little tiny
from Friends?
humans.
Capuchin? Yeah. Oh man.
No, not him. I'm thinking of even smaller monkeys.
Oh.
There's like these little tiny monkeys. They're like this big.
Like
those are the
Babu
only ones
Fricks?
that I would leave unattended with.
Like little Babu
Yeah,
Fricks?
they're like Babu Fricks. They're really small. Like I would leave my child unattended with those monkeys, maybe. But then, who knows what kind of business they'd be up to.
All right, who
they
are
were
we
probably
rooting for?
the inspiration for those. The Babu Fricks.
Actually,
we know who Rich was rooting for.
we know who I was rooting for.
Yes. Anthony, were you more of a Godzilla or Kong person in this one? Like, did you have a...
The creature that I was rooting for got chopped up in the end. No, I'm just kidding.
Mecha?
It's weird, like, because I like both characters, and I'm like, man, I don't want one to like die, but I mean, there was I would say a clear winner at the end.
There was, yeah.
Like Godzilla won that. He kicked Kong to Hollow Earth. Yeah. I'm sorry, Rich.
That's not debatable, Rich?
Yeah, that's
that
not
actually...
debatable. Like, I mean, you can pull the...
I do think Kong did get the upper hand on Godzilla at one point in the movie, and that's when that guy, I forget his name, he goes, second round goes to Kong.
So hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
It was a back and forth, but like Godzilla won.
Sure. Kong, if it's not
Where are you getting
if it's
that
not
from?
for Kong, right? Godzilla loses to like this fugazi version of himself, right? And then he gets to move into the basement, and it's bigger than the entire surface. He's got more room. He's got no humans. He just gets to chill in his new house. Like,
He actually likes humans, so that's a con for Kong.
All right. I see your point, and I don't think there's a winning
you know who's the
argument
winner?
when
You know who the
that
winner is?
your-
Us. We won. We won because we got to see this movie,
Very
and we
good.
get to watch
I
another
appreciate
one,
it, yeah.
and I can't wait. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, you guys don't know this, but we're actually going to record the next movie right after this. But Anthony, before we do that, I want to ask you one question.
What does he say?
When
I have no idea what he's saying.
when Mecha Godzilla was first
When
when
Mecha Kong?
Mecha Godzilla was first activated, he ripped a Muto in half, didn't he? Like before he powered down, like he didn't have enough power. He like ripped this Muto in half, and
The Skullcrawler?
it was a Skullcrawler, right? And then the juice.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice how that juice just was
The green
the
juice?
green juice, right? It was all over. And that just reminds me of Voodoo Rangers Juice Force IPA, the official sponsor of our podcast.
Well, actually, Rich, I'm going to one-up you on that one. But I will say that is not our sponsor. Don't listen to him. He is just rambling on. But what about the part when Kong cuts off the arm of Mechagodzilla and you saw like that oil?
There's a lot of oil.
That's
It's gonna
a lot
be
of
hard
juice,
to remove
right?
From the streets.
And he just
of
kept on
Hong Kong.
hacking at him, and more juice just
An incredible amount of juice. And
Yes.
like, yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And you know what else is juicy? Your 5-star reviews. So, folks, back home, at work, wherever you are, be sure to stop whatever you're doing, unless you're driving, and rate us 5 stars. Give us a 5-star juicy review. Make sure you mention how juicy your comment is, perhaps. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, we hope you have... We hope you've liked the podcast today, episode 165, and next week we are actually going to be covering the next film in the MonsterVerse, which is Godzilla vs. Kong, The New Empire. And we're going to figure out what this new empire is, and if it pertains to Hollow Earth, perhaps, or Kong, or Godzilla, perhaps? Probably not. But anyway, we do have a new Godzilla movie coming next year, Godzilla vs. Kong Supernova. And
that's where they listen to Oasis, right?
Nice.
Not a champagne supernova. There's no word that rhymes with champagne. I was going to say something very witty, but then I realized I got nothing.
Well, Kanye rhymed champagne with plain once. So.
Anyway, yeah, next week we're covering Godzilla v. Kong, The New Empire. No, it's not Godzilla v. Kong. It's Godzilla X Kong. So it's actually...
They're teaming up?
Yeah, so Godzilla Kong, The New Empire, because the X is silent in like anime and everything. So they're using anime logic with the titling structure in this one. That's sure to make Anthony a little happy, you know, like it got him a little excited there. I saw it in his, you know, he nodded his head in approval.
The logic in this next one is definitely anime-esque, so we'll see.
Absolute logic. Yeah, there's some definite power scaling in the next movie, so that'll be fun. But let's...
Roman Reigns, baby.
Oh, wait, can I say one last thing?
One last thing. Go ahead, please.
One thing that irritated me about this movie, and I'm going to say it super fast, and then we're just going to end the podcast, is that when they were like all going to Hollow Earth, they all had these shiny like gold and black outfits. Everybody had them but the child. What was up with that? Like, why couldn't they give her one of their outfits? I don't understand. Like, if I went on a team up and like, if we joined the podcast and you guys were all wearing matching shirts and nobody got one for me, I would be super offended and hurt. I would be really upset about that. And
did you consider that she's too small for the matching shirts?
I'm sorry, but they were like bajillion millionaires. Like, they could have figured it out.
Yeah, and the suits didn't actually fit them that well. They weren't very...
Yeah, they were like baggy.
Would you say that to somebody who, like, it's maybe religious? Like, she just didn't want... Like, that was her religious garbs? Like, she didn't want...
Isn't she wearing, like, a red hoodie, though?
Hoodies can be religious. You can't tell me what a religion is.
Hoodies could be religious. The religious hoodie. Yes, all right. So, next week, Godzilla, Kong, The New Empire. And we have a very special 2 shows the following weeks. We're going to be covering Dungeon Crawler Carl, Part 1 of the first book in 2 weeks' time, and Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 2 the week after.
You mean part 2 of book 1?
Book 1, Part 2. So there's a very clear break-off point in around the halfway mark of the book where they go down to the second floor of the dungeon. So the first week that we cover is just going to be the first floor of the dungeon and learning about Carl and his cat, his ex-girlfriend's cat. Guys, thank you so much for listening to us here for episode 165 of Project Geekology. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
The Wolverine.
You're actually wearing a Wolverine shirt.
Yeah, it's great.